Can you even imagine a world without a single clock? No alarms, no schedules, not a deadline in sight. I know, it sounds kind of nice for a second, right? But then you think about it. How would anything ever get done? Well, today, we're going to dive into the absolutely ingenious invention that first brought order to our days by literally capturing time itself.
I mean, this was the huge problem for every single ancient civilization. If you don't have a shared way to measure time, how do you coordinate an army or schedule a religious ceremony? How do you even run a market? It's almost impossible. They needed a solution, some kind of universal reference point, and they found it in the most reliable thing they knew, the sun.
So, let's get into this incredibly elegant solution, the sundial. In ancient texts, you'll see it called the nikku. And yeah, it looks simple, but its design shows this really deep understanding of our planet's place in the cosmos. It's all about creating a machine to capture and read the sun's shadow.
When you boil it all down, a sundial has just two main parts. You've got the gnomon, that's the pin or the stick that stands up and casts the shadow, and then you have the dial, which is the face underneath it, marked up with all the hours of the day. The real magic happens in how these two simple parts work together.
Okay, so here is the crucial bit, the real genius of it. Early innovators figured out that for the sundial to actually work all year round, the gnomon couldn't just be any old stick in the ground. No way. It had to be angled perfectly, parallel to the Earth's axis of rotation. And that single, brilliant insight is what turned a simple shadowcaster into a legitimate scientific instrument.
What's so amazing to me is that this huge technological leap didn't just happen in one place. Nope, civilizations all over the world figured this out on their own, and each one put their own unique spin on it, based on their science, their materials, and even how they saw the world. So, let's do a quick world tour.
First up, let's head to ancient Greece. These were people who were obsessed with math and astronomy, and not just in theory. They loved applying it to everyday problems, and they took the sundial to a whole new level of precision.
And what you're seeing here is just sheer geometric genius. The Greeks weren't messing around with approximations. They invented these cool bowl-shaped sundials and actually calculated curved hour lines to make up for the sun's different path in summer versus winter. I mean, this wasn't just telling time anymore. This was hardcore applied math.
All right, so from the precision of the Greeks, let's jump over to ancient Rome. The Romans were, of course, brilliant engineers. They took this technology and adapted it for their own needs, which were all about practicality and, really important for a massive empire, portability. And this thing just perfectly shows you their focus on tech for an empire on the move. The horologion of Philippi was basically the Swiss Army knife of its day, a pocket-sized gadget that could not only tell you the time in different big cities, but could also help you figure out your latitude. A truly amazing piece of engineering.
Okay, now let's travel east, way over to ancient China, where the whole idea of the sundial went down a very different path. See, over there, timekeeping wasn't just a practical science. It was woven deeply into philosophy and their whole view of the cosmos.
So for the ancient Chinese, the sundial was way more than just a clock. It was a little model of the entire universe. The design, often a round dial on a square base, was a nod to their round heaven, square earth cosmology. And it solved a different kind of problem. It didn't just tell you the time of day, it also tracked the 24 solar terms, which was absolutely vital for the agricultural calendar.
Our final stop on this ancient tech tour takes us to India. And here, the whole concept of the sundial was just scaled up to an incredible degree. Timekeeping wasn't just the science, it was a massive architectural statement. I mean, we are talking about massive, awe-inspiring structures. The Samrat Yantra in Jaipur is this monumental instrument for both timekeeping and looking at the stars. And then you have the Konark Sun Temple, which was designed as a giant celestial chariot, and its own wheels and spokes were used as a huge symbolic sundial. This was technology, art, and religion all rolled into one.
So, okay, we've seen how the technology evolved all over the world, but what was the point? What big problem did all this incredible innovation actually solve? How did chasing shadows completely reorder human society?
And this quote just nails it. The sundial wasn't just some handy little tool. Its real impact was that it created an entirely new, shared structure for life itself.
Think about it.
All of a sudden, you could coordinate. You could organize planting and harvesting with real precision. You could make sure everyone showed up for a festival at the exact same moment. You could structure government business. So the crucial takeaway is that the sundial provided the rhythm, the beat, that allowed these complex societies to even exist.
You know, before the sundial, time was just fuzzy. It was a fluid, vague thing. You had sunrise, midday-ish, and sunset. This little device introduced the revolutionary idea of a unit of time, an hour, a concept we now take completely for granted, but it had to be invented.
And that right there is the direct legacy. Every single digital clock on your phone, every meeting in your calendar, every train schedule you've ever seen, it all goes back to a simple pen casting a shadow on a dial thousands of years ago. It's a straight line of technological and social evolution.
It gave us the power to organize civilization on a scale nobody could have imagined, to build the modern world we live in. But, you know, as we look at our own schedules, packed minute to minute, you gotta ask, in learning to chase the shadows, did we actually gain control, or did we just end up creating a new master to serve? It's something to think about.